Clemson National Championship. The Tigers step into Gamecock territory for a special celebration. Missing former student. A search is underway after a boat crash near Paris Island. Human trafficking. This national issue is gaining attention in the Midlands. Carolina News starts now.
From the University of South Carolina, your news, your sports, your weather. Carolina News begins now.
Good afternoon and welcome to Carolina News. I'm Anna Grace Galloway.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Abby Aronson. Today, our top story. The Clemson Tigers came to Columbia for a visit to the State House. Reporter Matt Bumbaka went to see what it was all about. Matt, how was it?
Thanks, guys. The State House was in a sea of orange today for someone who made national news 2 times in the past 3 years, Coach Dabo Swinney of the Clemson Tigers.
Today, hundreds of people met at the State House for the joint assembly in the House of Representatives to hear Clemson's head football coach, Dabo Swinney, speak. Swinney spoke about how winning this year's national championship not only helps the University of Clemson, but the entire state of South Carolina.
Football unifies. And yes, football is a game, but it is one that provides us a roadmap of the things that we can all accomplish when we believe, when we love, and when we sacrifice in the pursuit of common goals. Football unifies. And we hope we showed that to the state of South Carolina.
After Swinney spoke to representatives, he took to the State House steps to reveal the new national championship road sign.
Clemson's national championship road sign can be seen anywhere on I-85, whether coming in or out of the state of South Carolina. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Matt. That's so exciting that Dabo and the team got that honor.
I know, 2 national championships. That's a really big deal.
Pretty awesome. Jamie, what do you have for us outside?
Thanks, Abby. Well, as you can see, it is incredibly beautiful outside. It's super warm, the sun is out, and it's a high at 69 degrees. But enjoy the weather while it lasts because rain is to come later in the week. Stick around for our 5-day forecast. Back to you in the studio, Abby.
Thanks, Jimmy. On to other news. A former USC student went missing over the weekend in the Low Country after a boat crash. 19-year-old Mallory Beach went missing near Paris Island. There were a total of 6 people on the boat at the time of the crash. The cause of the incident is unknown, and the 5 others are expected to be okay. A local high school in the area is gaining major attention for a stabbing incident that happened yesterday. A fight between 2 AC Flora high school girls turned violent Monday, leaving one stabbed and seriously injured. Richland County deputies say the 2 students aged 15 and 17 were involved in an ongoing dispute before the incident. A 15-year-old stabbed the 17-year-old with a knife around noon at the school. The 17-year-old was taken by ambulance to a hospital where she remains in critical condition. The 15-year-old girl has been arrested on attempted murder charges and is being held in the juvenile wing of Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center.
Charleston County Sheriff's Office arrested 17-year-old Jamari Simmons. Deputies say Simmons sexually assaulted a student with special needs in the bathroom at a local Charleston high school. Simmons is charged with second-degree criminal sexual misconduct with a minor. Human trafficking, it's a devastating fate for 40 million people worldwide. The Midlands has become a hotbed for trafficking, located in between 2 major hubs in Charlotte and Atlanta. As Adam Orfinger reports, one Midlands organization is gaining more allies to fight this epidemic.
Hey, are y'all interested in fighting human trafficking?
A simple question, hoping to fix a complicated problem.
It's a huge issue here in Richland County, actually.
But before anyone can really help, Megan Rigabar and other members of USC's International Justice Mission have to ask another question.
Do you guys know what human trafficking is?
Human trafficking is when someone forces or tricks another person into sex work or other labor services against their will. The definition is broad, covering 25 types of trafficking, but many people only know about 1 or 2.
The biggest misconception I see is that human trafficking is sex trafficking of minors. It's a very narrow definition that we've built.
But in reality, trafficking victims come from all demographics.
It doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your socioeconomic status, your race, your religion, your sexual orientation. Every type of person is able to be trafficked. We are all at risk at some level.
And that includes right here in the Midlands. 52% of pending human trafficking cases in South Carolina happen in Richland County. something that caught USC students by surprise.
I had no idea that it was such a problem, A, in the United States, and B, in like Richland County.
When I first learned about human trafficking, it struck me as an issue that no one was talking about, and something that affected so many people, not just in places like India or sub-Saharan Africa, but right here in South Carolina and right here in Columbia.
But how can people help? One of IJM's goals today is to make sure that people are able to spot the signs of a trafficking victim. On this card, 25 potential signs that someone is being trafficked. But there's one thing Rigabar says is a major red flag.
The biggest thing is that if someone does not have the freedom to move and do as they choose, something is wrong.
And knowing what to look for is the first step to breaking the chain. For Carolina News, I'm Adam Orfinger.
In 2018, 80% of South Carolina's human trafficking cases were discovered with calls to the National Human Trafficking Hotline. If you or someone you know is a victim of human trafficking, call the number on your screen, 1-888-373-7888.
A former South Carolina prosecutor is facing dozens of federal charges. The former Fifth Circuit solicitor Dan Johnson pleaded guilty to wire fraud last night. Johnson was accused of using credit cards intended for law enforcement-related expenses to pay for travel, vacations, romantic liaisons, medical expenses, and double reimbursements for military training. Johnson was suspended from office following his federal indictment in September 2018 and lost re-election bid. The charge carries a possible sentence of 20 years and a fine of $250,000. The plea was submitted Monday night, but a judge will have to accept Johnson's plea first. Richland County Sheriff's Department is investigating a string of church burglaries. Officials say the churches affected were Mount Olive Baptist Church, Haskell Heights Progressive Baptist Church, and Genesis Church of God. According to deputies, the suspect broke into local churches and stole cash. Deputies say the suspect damaged the churches when breaking in, resulting in more than $1,000 worth of damage. Deputies believe the crimes are connected by the same person. If you have any information on the break-ins, contact 1-888-CRIME-SC.
According to the Columbia Housing Authority, more than 100 families are still looking for housing after being displaced from the Allen Benedict Court Apartments in January. In total, there are 123 families still searching for housing, roughly half of all of the families that have lived in the apartment complex. A little over 70 families are hoping to use Section 8 vouchers, while the other 50 are waiting for public housing to have openings.
University of South Carolina. Your news, your sports, your weather. Carolina News begins now.
Hello and welcome to Carolina News. I'm Dominic Delfidio.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Daniel Carter. March Madness has arrived in Columbia. The tournament tipped off today around noon. Thousands of fans traveled from all over the country to the capital city.
Our reporter Ariana Mount went down to the Seger Fan Fest to meet some of the city's visitors.
Well, the Fan Fest is well underway, and as you can see, there are tons of basketball fans out here all supporting their team. So I want to see which basketball team in the NCAA has the most fans out here. I made a sign and set up right inside the Fan Fest entrance.
I'm not even sure who's playing tonight.
Oklahoma Sooners. Virginia Tech. UNC.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, Wofford. Chapel Hill, UNC.
Virginia. Virginia? You think they're going to win the whole thing?
Yes. The Gamecocks. Tigers. Clemson Tigers.
Kansas Jayhawks. North Carolina.
But the most popular answer I came across is
Duke Blue Devils. I've been a Duke fan for years.
Duke.
Duke.
I think Duke is going to win.
I'm voting for Duke.
Duke? Yeah, you like Zion?
Yeah.
As you can see, the Fan Fest is here for fans from all over, for giveaways, contests, and a chance to watch the basketball games happening right up the road at Colonial Life Arena. Sarah Fordham, part of the Fan Fest Planning Committee, says her team wanted to provide a free place for fans of all ages to join in on the madness.
It's such a big deal for our city to even host a tournament like this, so we just wanted to make sure that, even if locals don't have a ticket or kind of missed out until all of the media coverage going on right now, that we were able to offer something for them to be involved in the big weekend.
Local businesses also fill the exhibit hall here to offer fans a taste of Columbia, and there's plenty of food and drink to add to the party. No matter what team you're pulling for, the goal of the Fan Fest is to bring together all basketball fans for a fun, free experience.
For Carolina News, I'm Ariana Mount.
Thanks, Ariana. If you want to join in at the Fun Fest, they will be set up at the Convention Center until 9 p.m. tonight. Coming up later in the show, our sports anchor Anna Grace Galloway will have more about the tourney. Gamecock legend Asia Wilson is lending more than just a helping hand back home. In Wilson's first fundraiser, Wilson raised $15,000 for Palmetto Health Wednesday to help children with cancer and blood disorders. She operates the Asia Wilson Foundation, a nonprofit that raises money for charities. On Twitter, Wilson thanked everyone who had supported the foundation to help make this donation possible.
At the State House today, lawmakers are debating a fetal heartbeat abortion bill. This bill would prohibit the abortion if a heartbeat can be detected through an ultrasound, with an exception of if the mother's life is at risk. Both pro-life and pro-choice advocates testified, with critics saying that the state would be spending money to fight a losing battle for a law that would not be able to take effect.
The Columbia Housing Authority has selected a new chair and vice chair. Ernest Cromartie has been selected as the new chair. Annie Sinclair was selected as the new vice chair. CHA is still working to place many families in new homes after they were removed from the Allen Benedict Court Apartments in January. 2 residents were found dead from the exposure of carbon monoxide poisoning. Forest Acres bank robber Samuel Neathery has been brought back to South Carolina by U.S. Marshals yesterday afternoon. Neathery robbed SC Federal Credit Union on Forest Acres Drive in February. He's being charged with armed robbery, 6 counts of kidnapping, and possession of a weapon during a violent crime.
2 Columbia firefighters are recovering after being injured in a fire late last night. The firefighters were battling this blaze on the 6100 block of Crabtree Road, which caused serious damage to the house. Fortunately, both are expected to recover from non-life-threatening injuries. Officials say fire is under control, but there is still smoke in the area. South Carolina sees more than 200 days of sunshine per year, and many in the state are looking to reap the benefits. A new bill in the House would remove the solar energy cap that is currently in place. Our reporter Brooke Rakowski shows what the solar trends are looking like right now.
Consumers across South Carolina, including families and small businesses, are demanding solar energy. It's as simple as that.
Matt Moore serves as the chairman of the Palmetto Conservative Solar Commission, a group that is helping grow the solar energy conversation in South Carolina.
South Carolina is the new Sunshine State. We're a beautiful, sunny state, abundant and free energy, and we should find ways to capture that energy.
Moore is part of a large group of business owners and residents currently advocating for the Clean Energy Access Bill. It would allow South Carolina to produce renewable energy on a large scale, as well as on individual homes. West Columbia resident Pierre Dautel recently put in solar panels at his home and is already noticing a difference.
Usually in the winter months, I'm between $180 to $200, and last month it was $74.
Those who have solar panels in South Carolina can monitor how much energy they're generating through this app. Here's how much energy was produced by Pierre's solar panels on a sunny day. Solar panels not only reduce a household's energy cost, but also help grow the South Carolina economy.
As of right now, there are about 3,000 solar jobs in South Carolina. That's from 0 5 years ago to 3,000. It's a growing industry in the state that attracts skilled workers.
Solar energy gives people the choice to move away from traditional utility rates by generating their own power. However, nearly 20% of households in South Carolina are trailers or double wides, which can't benefit from South Carolina's ample sunshine as they are unable to support solar panels. For Carolina News, I'm Brooke Rakowski.
Last month, the Clean Energy Access Bill passed with a unanimous vote and is expected to pass with similar margins in the Senate.
Well, hopefully this weather keeps up going into the weekend. Let's kick it out to Matt Boombach out at the Horseshoe. Matt?
Thanks, guys. I'm out here on the Horseshoe where the sun is shining and temperatures are sitting right in the mid-60s, and it could be like this all weekend. I'll have your full 5-day forecast later on in the show. Back to you guys in the studio.
Coming up next on Carolina News, find out what one Sumter woman turned herself in for and which food company has been recalled. More to come after the break.